Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to a quick Zoom pop-up sponsored by Comeback King Enterprises. And I am your host, Jeff Tyson, affectionately known as Comeback King, man. And listen, those of you out there that unfortunately going through that divorce process, right? Either trying to hold on to it, like, man, you don't want to let it go, to realizing that maybe it's time to let it go, really accept the fact that it's over, and then what to do next. Man. So what it's saying, going through divorce and stuck in that loop, man, that's a loop that goes on and on and on and on, right? So I just here today to give you some things to think about, to have a conversation. It's not judgment. It's more of something to think through together. The comments that I make are from my experiences, right? And the process that I've been through and the information and direction I got from experts in this space. And we're here just to kind of give you something, man. And think about this. If you're in this loop, so let me back up. All right, because some of you may not be in this loop at all, but you got through the other side, right? But you just stopped in to visit with us. You're in the right place. So we thank you for being here. And then there's some of you that are kind of not sure, but you stopped in and checked it out. But let me just say this to you as we have this conversation. If you are doing things that you said you wouldn't do again in relationship to the letting go of the divorce, right? And you're finding yourself at the end of your actions like, man, how did I get here again? Or you just know, you're not certain how the day is going to go. You have a new plan for the day. You're trying to get away from the divorce, trying to heal yourself, but you still kind of find yourself pulled back into the loop. Those are just a few things. So any of that stuff, if it resonates with you, drop it in the comment section, right? And hear what we have to say, right? Hear what I have to say, right? But why is this so important to me to be here today and talk to you about this is because, I grew up in a time when my mom and dad they were some powerful people, right? We were fortunate to have a dual family parent household. And then I say that because that was very uncommon in a lot of places, and one committed, I should say, right? And because mom and dad, they told us they wanted to have kids, they wanted to have us, they wanted to make a place for us much better than that they went through because things were starting to change, right? They were at the edge of some very difficult times, but they were still going through those times, and they still wanted to have a family, man, and so. They did everything they could to raise the family, and there was four of us in a short period of time, right? And then 10 years later, mom went to pops and said, "Hey, I think I'd like to do one more." And then they had our baby sister, and they just hung out together. So I mean, what I'm saying all this to say is, man, I believed then and believe now in the marriage institution. Now I got to tell you, I didn't live that way, right? I mean, I was a mess, truthfully. I mean, I was the guy that was, struggling through school academically, but had athletics and, had a dream to go to the NFL. And that's all I wanted to do was play sports and do some other things to hide behind my pain and of disappointment and my education and all that stuff. I'm just giving you a little snapshot of why this thing is so important to me, right? But I found, so I didn't go into relationships at certain points in my life where I really had it figured out. But I did end up later on, my first marriage, I did end up getting married, and she helped me kind of regain some perspective on having a relationship and all these things. And so, I was kind of like, hey, it was three of us. I thought we would be together forever, right? Just like mom and dad's picture. I had that picture, right? But things showed up in different ways, and made some choices I did, and things blew up. So when I tell you, I know how it feels to really just like, man, hate yourself, shame, and guilt, disappointment, frustration, all that stuff that goes along with doing some things that cause other people and yourself a lot of pain. That was me, man. Right? And I'm thinking, what do I do now? Right? And listen, I think I know why it's even more important is because, I didn't, now, can we just have a real conversation tonight, right? So here's what I believe, there's people that can't wait to get divorced, right? I mean, they're like, man, people are wondering, why did you wait so long, right? I mean, everybody has someone, a marriage, have seen it on TV, some marriage where like these two should not be married. They should not have kids. What in the heck are they doing? Right? But they stick together for all the different reasons that are unhealthy reasons, most of them. Mine wasn't like that, right? It was like, okay, cool, we're gonna huddle, we're gonna race, we're gonna chase this thing called life, and we did those things, and then I made some, life shows up, and man, it just ended up. Yeah, it hurt a lot of people, man, including myself. I'm not proud of that, but I tell you that just to let you know that it's possible. If that's what happens to you, or you're on the other side, and trust me, I get it. If you've been betrayed, and I was the betrayer, and if those things happen, I get it, man. But I want you to know. I want you to know that you can get better. I did get better. I want you to know that there are things that can help you reset your patterns, reset your process, right? And get better. But it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen without work. So anyway, we have some summit series around from heartbreak to healing, pathways to extraordinary love after divorce, right? Finding the ability to, I'll just talk about me some more. There were times when I really, I didn't want to look myself in the mirror. I didn't like who was looking back at me. I really hadn't, dealt with some of the things and started to forgive myself and none of that stuff. I just was carrying all of it. And I'm not telling you that to say, oh, poor Jeff, because that ain't what it's about, right? That's just a little bit of my journey, man. Let you know that I do qualify for the message that I'm going to bring to you tonight. And when that load finally got too heavy to carry, man, there was some relief that came. Like, oh, and some hope, new hope. Even though I had lost hope on something that meant so much to me, new hope began to fester, to begin to percolate a little bit. Right? I'm like, oh, okay. I'll try something different. So, I want to tell you that it got better in a hurry, but it didn't. Right? The journey took some time, and man, I've learned to forgive myself for what happened, and hope that they have found some forgiveness with me, and that their lives have moved on. My son is married, got kids, and it's my stepson. He was my son. I'm not a stepdad. If you come to me, you come with the whole package, right? And he's married now, and so I get to see from a distance his family. So I just really want you to know that when you start to begin something that I created called looking in the mirror, that mirror moment can begin to change things. When you really, and for me, it was like, man, because I was like, the last thing I wanted to do was face myself. I'm gonna say that one more time. The last thing I really wanted to do when everything was quiet and I couldn't run anymore, I couldn't hide anymore. Last thing I wanted to do was look the man in the mirror. So I would look down, I would look around, I'd glance at myself, I'd look down, and glance at myself, right? But it took some time to be able to face myself. But as things got better for me, I would take longer glances. I would look longer in the mirror. And I wasn't still happy. I wasn't still free from the things that happened and what I had done. I wasn't still free to believe that things were going to get better, man. I mean, it was just like, man, this is the way life is going to be. Wow. So, the mirror moment was something that is really kind of been, oh man, it's a simple idea, but man, does it bring some results, right? But I had to do a couple of things before I could get there. I had to start to become aware. So I want you to think about this for me in a minute, right? Because I wrote something down. I want to ask you a question. I want you to show your hands in the chat, right? Show your hands in the chat about two things I'm going to ask you. And let me know when you're stopping in. Saki, thanks for stopping in. And let me know where you're at with these two questions, right? First one is type one if you feel stuck, right? If that's you that feels stuck in that, wherever you might be, you've been trying to get free from, stop trying to save it, trying to take the courage to accept that it's over with all the things that come with that. Or you've done those two things and now you're like, what's next? And you're just repeating the same old things, you're ignoring, you're doing, just acting like everything's gonna be okay, but you can't figure it out how to get free, right? Number two, put two in it if you're ready to move forward. I like if you're ready to move forward, but don't know how. And I mean, that was Jeff. I mean, awesome. I got to the point where I'm like, okay. It was like, what next? Because I still emotionally had weight. I still had heavy feelings around the loss of my life. Man. And the things that I was looking forward to in the future, all that still there. So what do I do? How do I function? How do I function effectively? How do I take actions that are kind to myself? So I mean, just think warrior one or two. Drop it in the comment section. Because here's the deal. I was trying to push through things, but I was trying to figure out how to get to the other side of these breakthroughs. When it dawned on me, I didn't need a breakthrough, man. I needed something I could repeat, a repeatable process, something that I could work on changing, implementing, taking one day, and then taking another day, stacking that same principle on, and then another day, and all of a sudden I had a week, right? And I had a week of some shift in my behaviors and my thoughts, which led to my feelings, which led to a better result, right? So it wasn't about, man, because like most of us, we try to fight through things, we try and stand in things, we try to overcome and create things. I did. That's how I was wired. I shouldn't say everybody's like me. But where you might find yourself in this conversation, just be honest with yourself. That's all I want you to do is be honest with yourself, right? So once I did that, I'd like to tell you the momentum shifted. I'd like to tell you I felt better sooner, but no, it wasn't like that. So I want you to tell me what it is when you hear this. What is it that you continue to combat with? What is it that is keeping you stuck? Or if you did get free, what did you do to get free? This is a two-way street. This conversation is meant to grow together, right? To bring a community together so that we can walk through this stuff side by side, not alone, man. Taking people from isolation to community is the goal. Helping them heal along the way. And listen, we are in no way trying to replace the therapist in this space. I mean, but I believe that there are things that we both can bring to the table. But if you really have some really deep and dark feelings, I encourage you to go get a person with a title on there, with a specific focus on whatever that pain is that you're feeling, right? Don't wait. You don't have to carry the burden. Don't feel ashamed or embarrassed about it, right? I took some of that experience myself. So I know there's value in it. Sometimes we have to also then take some action and do some excessive amounts of work that having someone close to you and hold you accountable. You know, in my terms, in my space, I'm going to keep it real with you because I know the outcome that you're looking for. Put it in the chat. If everything got better, what is that outcome that you're looking for? Is it peace? Is it feeling of self-worth again? Is it confidence that you know you can work on yourself, get yourself together, and there's a lot of people that still like to be married, like I was, right? I still believe the end the institution of marriage. I still believe that I was, even though I told you earlier that I wasn't a good guy, I played the field and I had all that stuff. And when, I stopped that, right? And so, wherever you might be today, hear me when I tell you what I'd like to leave you with when we get to that point is something that you can do, we can do together before you get off this call. Something that we can do together that you can practice even. I don't mind. We may even, I don't know. I don't think I can pull. Yeah, no, I'm on a different platform, so I don't have the ability to pull you up. Maybe I might. Let me see. Anyway, if I can't, that we can get through this nurturing process together, right? Before I get to what we're here to kind of just practice, I want to just leave you with some hope. If you're about to bounce off, if you got somewhere to go, I want to tell you that from this mirror moment, magnificent comeback that we talk about, that we've got webinars out about, right? I was able to get to the point where I could stand up straight, or I stopped glancing by myself in the mirror, look myself in the mirror, and tolerate myself. It's a process then. I go from tolerating myself to liking myself, excuse me, to following people that help love me till I can love myself again. Let me get my cough together here. Give me 1 second, please. So, going from liking myself to loving myself. And listen, it's possible that you can prepare yourself for the things that bring to you someone that is loving and caring and man, can bring life to you again, and you bring life together. And over the last 15 years, I'm telling you that after I went through all the different things that we're talking about, man, I found the love of my life. And we've been married 15 years this year, right? And she came with a daughter, and her daughter is my daughter, man. And now we have grandkids. They're married, and they give us the opportunity to be grandma and papa, right? And so all that stuff, man, from that guy who didn't think he could get through it to where we sit today. And why do I tell you that? Excuse me, guys, because I know it's possible for you too. If I can do it, you can do it too, right? So let me see what my notes have. So stay with me, because we're getting through this, and we're getting close to winding it down. So I want you to think about, you guys, everybody knows what a trigger is. I want you to think about what it is that goes through your day, the thoughts that come up to kind of trigger you, right? To doing something that you said you wouldn't do. I'm talking to the person that says, okay, for the person that's trying to save it and you need to stop, and the person that has stopped is trying to begin to heal. They're still the same triggers, they just aren't as strong. But when you're closer to it and you're in the grip, that trigger is strong. It's that one where you start thinking about the past, or you start remembering special occasions, or you really want to just do something super special. It takes you down that road of disappointment, sorrow, right? So I want you to be thinking about your behavior. What triggers you, right? What is emotion that triggers you into that space? And that's where that loop begins, right? And then when we start to think about obsess over it and compulse over it, that's all we think about, right? And then the behaviors follow. We're talking about the trigger and then the behavior and the consequence, man. Boy. At first, the consequences of me behaving, and listen, my ex-wife is a beautiful person. She told me she just couldn't do it, but I continued to try. She never disguised it, right? And all these things. She was an awesome person, right? And so I say you all that stuff to say, man, that it wasn't easy, right, to do that. But it's necessary because the consequences my conscience began to wake up. So the consequences of me putting myself in situations, even though it was fun and all that, but at the end of the day, she was eventually going to no longer be my wife. Right? The house, all that, none, that world, self-inflicting pain, right? So the consequences. Look, we don't. Ooh, man, I'm trying to fight this cough. I don't want to keep coughing in you guys' ears, right? We don't change the behavior first. That follows, right? The behavior follows first. But it's the story we tell ourselves that feeds the trigger, right? What stories? I want you to think about this. What stories are you telling yourself in this situation? What messaging are you following that leads you down that loop again? You know what they are. I don't. You know what they are. I have some idea. Mine were always like, well, maybe today might be different. Maybe she'll come to terms. I hope. Okay. What's yours? So you guys get the idea. You know where we're going with this. So I want to just kind of give you something to think about. Let me find it for you. The 24-hour direction decision. It's going to be real simple. It's one sentence. I'm going to give you two, right? Two for the price of one, right? And there's no price. It's free, right? But the first one, I'm going to read it to you. I'm feeling, and this one is hard for the fellas, right? Anytime somebody asks you how you're feeling, most answers that you give are, I'm cool, I'm fine, no problem, I'm great, work is great, right? I've been in the gym, or ladies, both of y'all go to the gym, get yourself back together, whatever you might answer. So what am I saying to you? Write this down too. Where is it again? Let me find it. Oh man, yeah. I'm feeling, and then fill in the blank, right? And what I need is, what is it that you need at this moment, wherever you are in your space? Is it some calm, right? Is it just to be able to feel and grieve for a while? Let the tears flow, just be free to just feel, right? Just and feel unjudged, just freedom from self-debilitating thinking, that stinking thinking that is just kicking your butt. And what I need is what? I need a peace, man. Calm. Stop hurting. What is it for you? So write that one down, 24 hours, and then let me give you one more. When you do it, you're going to notice something that feels different, right? It feels different because you're going to be able to, the second piece I'm going to give you is going to help you get a plan, right? So let me, please. So you with me, all right? Everybody just drop yes in the comments when you hear and most of you are going to hear the recording, right? Or you bought this training program from Comeback King Enterprises. Either way, when you hear it, drop something in there. If you can't, and you want to get a hold of me, reach out to me, DM me, right? There's a community in that space here. I think we put it in there where you can join the group. So anyway, maybe they'll get it in there for you. So first thing, what are you going to do before we move on? I'm feeling X. You're going to really, really truthfully fill that out. I am feeling miserable. I am feeling sad. If you were at that other side of the table where you couldn't wait for a divorce, I am joyous and free, right? Or if you're in the middle, you just feel numb. Not sure what the feelings might be. Whatever that is for you, wherever you feel. So when you write down, I'm feeling X, and what I need is blank. Peace, calm, free, whatever it might be for you, right? And listen, I know this is kind of a toughy situation. A lot of people are reluctant to put their names and so that, but DM me. You're welcome to do that. Hey, Jeff, I saw you on the pop-up. DM me. We can have more conversation. I encourage you to do that. And also there's a group here that you can become a part of. So anyway, so that's the first part. Here's the second part. For the next 24 hours, and write this stuff down too. For the next 24 hours, this is what you're going to do. This is the promise I'm giving to you. And you got to do it in order for it to work. I don't want you to just think about it. It's going to take you actually writing it down and then taking the action, right? This is the action-driven conversation, right? You deserve the action. You deserve the peace and the calm, whatever it is that you're thinking about. So listen, what is it? For the next 24 hours, I will protect my peace, baby. Bye. What is that? And I gave you some examples. I wrote them down. I didn't get them in the comments, but I want to give them to you. So I'm going to slowly. For the next 24 hours, I will protect my peace. I will protect my boundaries. Fill in the blank. I will protect my home. I will protect my spirit. I will protect. What is that? Bye. And here are some examples. Choose one self-respecting move that I'm giving you right now. One of them is no texting, checking, right? Communication portals that you use, just no glancing through her Facebook or his Facebook page that you obsess over. Pick yours. That's just one I put. Another one is block one trigger. What triggers you? What do you do that? Do you go find yourself lonely, so you grab your phone and start looking through old photos, or you go through old letters, or you find, some tickets that you saved, or whatever that stuff is, man, that leads you back to that behavior that you're trying to get away from. 24 hours. Just 24 hours, man. One of these so far, man. 20 minutes of movement. I encourage you to do that. If you don't do any of these other ones, and you may be exercising already. So if you are, do 20 minutes more anyway. But for those of you just kind of stuck in the grip, 20 minutes of movement while you're talking about yourself. While you're doing that moment, be talking to yourself about, I don't respond to negative triggers that harm me anymore. I no longer find myself chasing the dream that I need to let go of. I am strong and confident that I can get through this. You begin to create your own dialogue, right? You start to shift that pattern, that thought pattern. Once that thought pattern is changed, then some other opportunities can happen, right? So the last one, write 3 non-negotiable things down that you're going to do. Everybody knows what they're doing, right? I mean, mine was, I'm not going to call anymore. I'm not, honor what her requests are. I'm not going to kind of create any great ideas. I'm not going to just, I'm going to just sit still in my spot. If she calls me, great. If not, I'm going to honor her request. What is it for you? Non-negotiable, man. I'm not doing it. And remember, the consequences begin to change. Finding yourself in some situations that you're like, oh, crap. How do I get out of this one? Last thing I want you to do is, I don't need perfect. I don't want you to be perfect with new disciplines. I don't want you to be perfect in what I'm talking about. I don't need to be perfect. I just need clear direction. And I've given you some. Right. So what are we going to do? We already talked about all the way back from the other one. I'm feeling blank, and what I need is, and you're going to fill that out, and you're going to really practice this with yourself. I mean, this stuff is real. It's simple, man. Listen, this is just to kind of get you shifted right now. When you hear this, you sending it to your friend or whatever you play. I don't think there's going to be a replay. I'm not sure, maybe. But anyway, when it's running in your head, 24 hours. I'm talking about now. I ain't talking about sitting on the couch an hour a week and then getting some rest. I'm talking about beginning something right freaking now to chart another new course for you out there, right? A new course right now, man. Tomorrow, this time Friday, you try something, you do what I'm talking to you about. I guarantee you, you're going to have a different feeling. Notice how your body feels, though, when you have the words. You got the words. Now you have the plan. 24 hours. Plan is, in the next 24 hours, I am going to honor myself. I'm going to do the things that I don't want to do, that I know will eventually help me gain some more strength, gain some more confidence, get some self-belief back. I can stand on my own 2 feet. I can lay my head down on the pillow and have some calm. My heart doesn't hurt as much. And there'll be times when it comes back heavy in waves, baby, with this system, this process, because you're looking in the mirror every day and you're saying these same things to yourself every day. That's you. So I'm inviting you to be on the lookout for the next webinar, The Miracle, The Mirror Moment, Magnificent Comeback, where we go through these things in detail and we talk a lot about some other things. And I invite you, if this resonates at all, you know somebody, just drop S in the comment when you hear this. So I think we will run this for 24 hours. Right, drop S in the comments, and then we'll connect. We'll make sure you get the link to the webinar. Because what I know is this, and my promise to you is this. The next 24 hours when you hear this, I want you to look in the mirror, look at yourself in the mirror, baby, right? Just look at yourself. Humor me. Take note of who you see looking back at you. And then in the next 24 hours, when you practice something that you're uncomfortable with, that was going to help move you towards a new pattern, move you towards a new way of action, move you towards a new way of thinking. No more stinking thinking for 24 hours. I think it's worth it for you to try. So I've gone over my time, so I'm getting out of here. So hit me up, drop S in the comment section, and we will connect. And if you're looking for a community, hey, what's up, Big Russ? Thanks for stopping in, man. Here talking about this thing called the people, giving them some hope, man, some clarity on some things that they knew, and get remarried and do their thing like they need to, man. So thanks for stopping in, bro. I really appreciate your support. I was just letting them know about a community before I run, that we are about helping you get to reset, regain some focus, get some clarity back in your life. And know that the pathways to extraordinary love begin with a clear system and a clear process. And there's nothing greater, man. Look, I'm going to tell you something. Self-love is the most dynamic gift that we can give ourselves. And I tell you, if you don't have that, the other types of love you're seeking is always going to be something that's going to be a little off. Man, that's a whole other discussion, no conversation. But I want you to know, I believe in you. I believe you can do this. The next 24 hours, give yourself a break. Do something kind for yourself, like I did. And trust in the process. All right? Don't forget, text in the comments if you're looking for the link for the next upcoming webinar, which is tomorrow, Friday, the 20, I don't have the date, Friday. That's Friday of February. Right? Come join us. Take care. We believe in you, and your comeback starts now. Let's rise together, baby. Come on now. Let's go. Bye-bye.